students, yay!
We're on.
Yeah, we are recording.
Thank you. So do you want to just do a quick,
briefly.
sorry Mark, a quick,
So sign,
Yeah.
sign
Add in here, import. You can then import a document. I've imported a PDF. Once it's uploaded, it becomes here. I can then edit that one. This will become into edit mode when you upload it automatically. Once you've gone through that, you can change your slides. This one, I've converted to a collaborative space. And the other one, I converted to a handout, which you'll see in a moment anyway. And once you've finished those editing, it then comes back to the whole point. This is Smart Learning Suite Online. To get to it, you go to either suite.smarttech.com or just go to hellosmart.com and it should take you here. So once you're in here, it's then going to start the lesson that I've uploaded, the PDF or PowerPoint. PDFs are slightly cleaner rather than the PowerPoint ones. And then here, the students go to hellosmart.com and type in that code, which we now just do.
okay.
So if it comes up as that,
Yeah.
you are now, it didn't ask you, that's asking for your account. So if you could press back and go in as guest for today. If you are going to give students their own details and their own login details,
Okay.
there is a way that they can then save these and have them to take home and access them in their own file library.
Oh yeah, that's nice, because I use Smart Lab a bit and I always have them as a guest because
Yeah.
I don't know, GDPR, etc. But yeah, next term going forward, so they can keep their history, is it?
They can keep anything you send to
Yeah.
them.
Uh-huh.
So here I've got lessons and their annotations and all the
Yeah.
activities. Press back one and sign in as guest. But if they've got their own login details, then they've got their own resource library
Okay.
of all the stuff, including their own annotations, that they can then access over time.
So you've only given us access to
Go
this
back to
particular
this,
one.
there's no need
Exactly.
for that.
Because I am on
Yet.
teacher mode. So I can see that
Yay,
I-
these are there.
you two have signed in.
Hello,
Yep.
Smart. Oh, so
There.
are you student join the class then?
If you wanted to chuck people out,
So join as a guest.
you can edit and just chuck individuals out,
At the moment.
for whichever reason you see fit.
How come I'm down as a guest and he's just down as...
Because I logged in with my account.
Ah, you have an account.
Yeah.
With your WAES email.
With my WAES email, yes.
So our students can log in with a WAES email. Do we
Do
have-
students
There's no
have
space.
a
They have, oh yeah.
There's no space,
Okay.
sorry.
No, but do we
Yeah.
have one?
Do students have a WAES email?
Yeah,
No.
Oh, okay.
it's their date of birth at, don't quote me on this. They need to log in to SharePoint using their date of birth, their username and their password, which is their 6-digit date of birth and their student number.
Is there a space before it or a space after it? Do you think?
WAES address.
Right.
Click on the
so
number
Every
again.
student has I'll show you later.
There you go, there's a space after it. Just press delete on your keyboard. Or backspace, sorry, one at the top. Not the space one.
Sorry, and just the students must use their WAES address, not their private email
Yeah, yeah,
address.
yeah.
No idea.
Otherwise GDPR has a fit.
Let's just refresh the browser speed.
I can't do anything with this, so... Do I wait
So-
for you to...
162 353. There you go, now click next. Yay, and it's just your name. Yep, so at the moment, because I'm on teacher mode, it's just me.
Frozen?
I've set it up, you can't essentially do anything because I wanted control. And then as soon as we're all in, I can see we've got 2 people in. And it's whirring away.
Freezing.
There we go, third person's in.
Third person's in, and we're in, loading there. So I can be starting my lesson, we're all ready, I can now see it on your screens as well. If I click the next slide here to look at lesson objectives, you've got your lesson objectives here. At the side here, as teacher, I've got some penning tools, so I could just annotate. He says. normally I could just annotate with those. But for today it's not going to work, which is always really useful.
Can anybody remember the code? Class code?
162
Here.
353.
Oh, it's the same one.
Yeah. Because it's linked to my account.
Oh, very good.
I'm just going to restart mine here just because those ink tools weren't quite right.
So that's good that we have the same one, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Hopefully I won't need to close down the browser. And hopefully we should be okay.
And it reboots quite quickly, doesn't it? That's a nice thing about this.
Ah, there you go. So I just press refresh, I don't know why. So now I can annotate looking at the key points of the lesson, and those annotations are now on your screens as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And essentially this could be completely remotely. If you were down the corridor, you could still be following the lesson. You could have Skype running in the background for the voice side of it and be still annotating this way. So I've made my annotations during that lesson. Now, I've got a few basic ones. I have got highlighters in there as well, but because it's an online version, this is why I essentially just need that first one there. If I click on next page, you're now going on to the next as well.
So the flip side of this is absent students, okay?
No excuse.
So somebody who's gone to their own country for a very serious reason, they can follow it, but it might encourage absenteeism.
No, because I think if they're not getting the input in the classroom, they're going to miss out the
Yeah, I know, yeah.
three-dimensional element.
Anyway, it's, you know, if
It's
we're
good.
informed in advance that somebody's going to be absent, what do we do about it?
Yeah.
We get them to follow online.
Yeah. I mean, you could then, coming back to that recorder place,
Yeah.
you can record it from this.
Absolutely.
And it's then using those two together in that way if you wished. So again, more facts. The beauty of this, yes, it's a beautiful big screen that you can read here, but sometimes you do need that right in front of you. So I'm saying, oh, can you read the paragraph about Buckingham Palace? It's now in front of you, and you've got there from wherever in the classroom. Yes, we're in quite a nice classroom size here, but if you have got larger classrooms, even in a hall, they can have it in front of them and read like, or you can just follow them with the finger. So that's that one there. So this one here was the one I initially set up as a workspace. So if I press set up now, it's now going to say, I've got 4 people in the lesson, how many teams do I want? So let's put you in either everyone in the same team, or I'm going to put you in 2 teams. It's then automatically going to put you in teams like that. If I wish to move these around, I can move them around. And obviously that's the needs of it. You're in, but I haven't started it yet.
I see.
Making sure that I've now, as a teacher, got you in the right teams before I start.
So it's not gone like live.
Start the workspace. It now says you're in those teams, so you know your teammates, and then you can click on start. Or it starts it.
Okay.
You can now see on the left-hand side, you've got tools. So you can annotate. So if you read the question steps, it says what London landmarks can you see in the picture? So you can circle them, you can erase them, there's an image search, or you can type in. I'm just going to go and look at yours. So I can see that this is team 2, and I can actually write in a question, I can put an answer, I can circle your boat. So if you're in team 2, I've just circled your boats.
Yeah.
I can then come out of this one, I'm going to go to the other team, and then the other team I can see your annotations. I'm actually going to, for you, I'm going to circle the gherkin and put a question mark by the side of it.
If I, can we just go to team 2? If I erase your circles around the boats, do they also show up as me erasing circles around your boats?
We are working in a group.
Yeah, okay.
So now this is the beauty of the cloud.
Yeah.
It's the whole point of cloud-based stuff is that collaborative side of things, is that we don't have to be working on that same piece of canvas. We can be that canvas becomes pushed online.
So I'm going to find your labels to put onto these things rather than put my own. Because I was typing in London Eye, so it wouldn't let me do that.
You're adding in text, so it will add text.
No, but it's your text that I'm moving around, not mine.
So I'm looking at team here. Yeah. So I can now move yours around because we are working on the same piece of paper.
But I didn't write Big Ben.
I did.
because we are in the same group.
Okay.
There's a text option. The big A, capital A, is the text box option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you can type in.
No, I just wondered where that text came from because I hadn't written anything.
Oh right, yeah.
So I can work either in this
From
three
beyond.
or in this
Beyond.
three. But now, and I can see into those different groups. Okay. So we've done that activity. I'm now wanting to go on to the next, and because I'm now in teacher mode, I can just click on next, and you've all gone on to the next one. Okay.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
So this one here again is this one is a handout. So rather than putting us in teams, it just sends it out everybody. You are all in your own one, not in groups, in individual groups if you like, or it's a handout. So now you can click start on yours, and it's just for you to do. And that's the difference between a collaborative space or a handout if you like. And then you can add those annotations on this. What I will say, for this file here, you may not know what any of these are, but earlier in the document, it told you the answers. So now if I look on this here, these pictures, and now rather than teacher mode, I click it on student mode, you've now got this appearing at the side. So now you can go up and down the document because it's student paced.
Right. Okay. Lesson pacing.
Yeah.
I see.
So you've now got the ability to go forwards and backwards, and now if I go forwards and backwards, you don't change because you've got control of that. But if I wanted everybody to say, right, everyone focus back on learning objectives, I'm going to go back into teacher mode, and now you are all on the lesson objectives.
And I can't change.
And you can't change. As soon as I click on student paced, you can change.
And anytime you can you get an overview of what we're doing as students, or?
Not where you are in the document, but I do know, I wanted you to do some work here, and I can look at the student progress for your different teams. And here, with the handout, I wanted to see your student progress. So now I've got all of your work on that one. So let's see what Brenda's done so far.
But you've gone into
Nothing
teacher
quite
mode.
yet.
You've gone
Yeah,
into teacher
but if
mode
you
to
went
see
to
that.
yeah,
This is
Which
no,
means
it's fine.
which means that we are now not basically we finished that task, and that's how you can see it, not while we're doing it.
While you're doing it.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm on student mode, so you can be going through the whole lesson up and down as much as you wish. But when you come to this slide here, slide number 6, so if you scroll down to slides, in fact I can change you all, can't I? I can change you all here to teacher pace, and now you're all on slide 6.
Okay.
So if I can say to you, carry on with this activity please, and then you could be annotating that, and then I can jump into yours and see what you're doing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I
and
could
I've
say,
just-
it might be that I could say to everybody, nobody write in green, I'm writing in green. And then I could circle this one here saying, can you do that one next, please?
Yeah.
So you can see that, or you can go ahead and rub it out, or I can rub out your working.
Yeah.
Maybe you've got 10 Downing Street wrong. So I said, well, no,
Yeah.
it's not that one. Just going to rub that one off for you, have another go.
Yeah.
Mine there.
So this,
This is me.
Oh yeah,
You
do
are
one
here.
at a time, yes, obviously, yeah.
because this was a handout,
Yeah.
so I can now see yours. Maybe you needed some support. So I'm going to work with you, but I know that my annotations are going to be in red, like this way. Apart from they're wrong, but never mind. So I'm now we are working on the same canvas.
Yeah. So differentiation.
But then because you're up here student paced, I've given you that control that you can now go up and down the document, and when you have finished that one, because I've set this lesson up this way, you can then go on to do this one, and then go on to do that workspace, and it's then next thing to become extension, everyone in the same group.
From a differentiation point of view, is it possible to assign student pacing to individual students, or is it only possible to do that for the whole class?
It's just whole class.
Okay. So.
There is, I'm just going to jump out and show you that bit there actually. Now. So this is back to my overview. You've now all come out of there. What you have got here in your profile is request a feature.
Okay.
So if there is something like that, and that will just be emailed straight to the developers, and they'll listen to it, Because it's an online thing,
Mm.
when the updates happen, they just push them out and everyone's got them. So it's a really easy, rather than having to wait for a big install and another big install.
Okay.
So if that's something, I mean, that'd be really useful.
Yeah.
So send it off.
Because essentially what that would mean is, from a differentiation perspective, if a student finishes a particular slide, the way that the program is now, you can only set it so that either no one in the class has control over what they can do, or everyone in the class has control over what they do. So if there was the ability to allow certain students to have control over what pace they move through the exercises, that would allow for differentiation.
That sounds great. I mean, essentially what you've got here is you've got a list of people, and I could say those two, student mode, or select all student mode.
Yeah.
So
Well,
almost
is that something that we can do right now?
not
what's
yet.
that
No.
list? Yeah,
All I
what
can
is
do
that?
is remove them.
Okay, so that's only assigned to remove simply. Okay. So yeah.
But the
that's-
UI, if you like, is already there.
Yeah, the UI's actually got the ability to do that if they were able to do that. Yeah. Okay.
I won't get rid of you all. So then going down further was that
Sorry?
workspace.
What is UI?
User interface.
Sorry, I thought we talk on that geeky sense. I thought.
Sorry.
I
Sorry,
sense
we
the fellow
start
geek.
talking in the same language.
So then, if I'm going down to slide 9, which was that shout out activity, which I just did from one click of a button, I then start it for the whole class.
Yeah.
You're then starting that, and then as a teacher, I can say, "What have you learned today?" Or tell me one place you wanted to visit in London. And if you type it in now, don't type the school.
And then
You could type the school.
if I send London Eye, send response.
Click send it, and there you go, London Eye.
Okay. A little bit small. Is there a way to kind of set it up so that it becomes bigger? Okay. Cool.
No.
No.
It all comes in small, and then when you click on it, it goes big.
Okay.
And then I can toggle through the answers. But it's just that brain dump, if you like, on here. I can move these around.
Yeah.
I've got 2 Tower of Londons,
So batch those together. Yeah.
and then I can, if I wanted to, if I didn't like Joe's, I can put it in the bin up here.
Okay.
But I won't.
But that's good because we can save this and then you can use it at the start of your next lesson.
Yeah,
Doing a
yeah.
recap, and you can
Yeah,
show the
yeah.
students where you were and how are you now,
Mm.
how you progressed and so on. So it's
Yeah.
very useful.
You know when you were when you were accessing, you could see what individual students are doing. If they were making mistakes, could you correct them on the board or individually, or would it be just a general feedback?
So,
Because I deliberately put some mistakes in just so
Yeah.
to see what.
so if I come into your work here,
Yeah.
and you have made some mistakes. So now we are collaborating.
Okay.
Because this was an individual one, I'm a teacher, but this is our here. So I can then edit your work and say like that. I can even annotate saying, please draw lines.
And then anything
And
that
that
he does on
is-
that board would show up on your computer screen.
Only.
If you click resume, everything that he's just done is now on your computer screen.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. No, that's good because that means you can give individual feedback.
Yes.
We'll
so
say
that
with
you
this-
use a question mark just to indicate there's a
And
problem.
it's personal to, so
That's it.
you know you kind of directing it towards that student, so they're not
Yeah.
being. But that is showing up on the main screen. So
But it's, am I right?
but
It's
if
also,
yeah.
It's
So if
also
I
on here.
switched off there to give individual feedback, so that they're not
Yeah.
feeling a bit yeah. So I could just do it from there. Okay. Well,
Essentially, it's from a web browser.
perfect.
Yeah.
So I could turn this off, tablet, and write that way.
Okay. Tablet.
The only thing with this here is you can see I'm using these tools,
Yes.
not these.
Yes.
These create the acetate over the top. And when I go on to, what does it? Has that squiggle turned up? Oh, it does squiggle that the right way. I stand corrected, they fixed that one. So I can use my pens.
Yeah.
Great. Oh, that's brilliant. I couldn't before. Well done, smart. So you can
Was
still
it
use
previously? It was just kind of like the Smart Ink overlay.
Yeah.
Okay, but now they've integrated it into the online version.
Great. So there we go.
wonderful.
How it's set up. But those are those there. So yes, I've got those different groups in that way, and all of that. From here, I've also got this little plus button. So if I did just want a blank page, I've then got a blank page, and I can just be writing normally, if you like, with the limited tools. If I wanted to add a shout it out, that's also a quick something that response is in there. If I wanted to add in the lab games, this is the lesson I was working at today. I want to edit it. So that one, I want to edit, and then it goes in that kind of creation mode.
And because it's in creation mode, it's not on our screen, we've got a waiting message. Yeah.
You can then add those activities, or add, the assessment was that response to, it's more of a test-based one. It's still an activity, but it's more test-based, and then you've got these here. There's also memory match, which is only available online, just because if you add more and more and more and more onto a desktop version, the install of that is massive. So in the future, more will be coming online. There is, which one is it?
Sorry, just quickly, can the students save whatever they've done for themselves individually, or is it only what you save on yours that
So
the next lesson?
we have worked on that document,
Yeah,
so you have got that work.
and I can save it for me.
Yes. If you sign as a guest, that you don't get that. But if you sign in yourself,
Student.
you do, as a student, yes.
Okay.
So with this super sort here,
So we definitely need to get them to sign in
Yeah.
with their WAES
Yeah.
details. Okay.
yeah. With this super sort one here, the online version of this you can customize as well. So you can put your own picture in the background, and you can put your own hotspots where you wish, and put your own stuff in like that. So at the moment you can see a monkey one and a simple version.
Do you do little avatars as well?
There are the monster avatars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't personalise your own?
You can personalise, you can put in any picture you want.
Yeah.
So if you wanted, I mean, something as simple as, I don't know,
Little chap with a beard?
a little chap with a beard,
Yeah.
Glasses.
Yes.
one without beard, then you could, who's got a beard, who hasn't? It's just a sorting activity, but the background is what you want. And again, there's more and more stuff coming online, because this feature was only released a couple of weeks ago, to be able to customise it. Essentially, it will come to all of them, but this is the first one we're trialling and seeing how much it works, how well it works, and then expand it.
Just a quick question which popped up with us when we were doing the Smart Lab before, and that is so the students complete the quiz, etc. Yes, and because they had signed in as guests, you lose it. So you lose the record of the students' progress. Once they sign in, does Smart Lab offer us that option to record the names and their scores?
There's
on that?
two answers.
Yes and no.
The short answer, nope. The long answer is, I really want that feature.
Yeah,
And we've told
okay.
the developers, and it's in the
Yeah,
roadmap for
yeah.
it to be coming.
That was one feedback that the tutors gave
Yes,
us.
of course.
That, for example, Kahoot does.
Yes. But, I mean, you can see, with the response to, it's there. The fact that you can export those as an Excel file, and then you can look at that in that way.
Oh, yes.
So it's there for response.
Oh, yeah.
It's being looked at of a good way of doing it, because essentially we don't want to, those games are designed to be quick, fun, easy play.
Yeah.
Go and do it now.
Mhm.
Enjoy it. Do we need to record all of that data all the time? No. Would it be useful to record some of that data? Yes.
Because tutors are, whatever sector they're in, preschool, primary,
Yes,
etc.
it's all
we
data.
have to track.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
And great if we could do it, like we were saying earlier on, all on this one.
Yeah, and it's definitely being thought about the best way of doing it.
Yeah.
The response to, because it is a very,
Excel spreadsheet is
it
fine.
comes out in a spreadsheet, but how to record everyone's responses
Yeah.
in a meaningful way that you can simply look at is taking a bit of thought process. I have
Okay.
no idea,
Right.
basically, but I know that it's something they are looking at.
So just in terms of, let's say you want to record those corrections, would you say that you could do a screen grab or something, and that would be an easy way to save it. But what was it you were saying about exporting it? I mean, if you saved it on as you were doing it on the day, you can keep a record of it, couldn't you?
Yes. So the oops, cancel. Sorry, hold on. So if I'm editing them, so if I'm doing one of the activities is called response to,
Yeah.
and that is a very almost like a formal assessment.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are doing that formal assessment, you can export that data as an Excel
For that student.
for the whole class.
Oh, okay.
The whole class will send in their responses to you,
Yes.
and then you will have all of their answers. It will be color coded per cohort and per child, and everything that an Excel beautiful document basically, which you can then analyse.
Okay, could you just show us that? For
Yes.
our
For
answers?
us, maybe.
Yeah, just for now.
Yeah.
Could you just show us
Yeah.
how we do that?
Well, let's just run one. Response to. So now yours will change there when I start the assessment. Start, and now you are now being sent an assessment.
Okay.
Oh, I should have removed.
You're wrong, it's
Just do as you wish.
not true.
At the top it says next question,
Oh, yeah.
and there's 9 questions.
Bit cake.
With
no calories, I love that.
So I can see on the board that Joe's done 1 question, Tuli's done 4 questions, Joe's on to his second. As a whole class, you are 29% done, 31% done. I could then show the questions. I can see that 80% of you have done the first question. Now this, because I didn't remove students at the beginning, Brenda's logged in twice and come out once, and I didn't, it's got a little red mobile. So that's going to skew my data a little bit, just because I didn't. The best way of doing this is chucking everybody off first
Yeah,
and then bringing them all back in,
okay.
just so it doesn't,
Oh, yeah, I logged on my phone, didn't I, earlier on?
so it's still, because you are
Okay.
there. So I can see these questions here, so 80% is the kind of the target we're looking for. So this is where we are so far. Most of the class are about there. I can see that 2 people have done 9 questions. We're nearly there,
Oh, I can see it now.
because that's your phone one, because you haven't
Yeah.
started yet. But
False.
Yeah, I've done.
yeah,
Put some mistakes.
how's it got?
Add answer. Oh,
It will then ask you to, so it should look like that one when you finish. If you click on
Yeah.
next at the top,
yeah.
it will then submit your answers, bottom right.
Those are my answers. Very nice, yeah. I'm sure you want to switch your answers.
So that's why we've kind of asked that I could hide those results, so I can see as a teacher that this is live happening as we're doing it. Obviously, if we were in the Smart Learning Suite online, now you finished it, if it was on student-paced, you could be going off and doing something else in the activity, but just click next again, Joe, top, at the same top. The arrow where you were using the result, that's the one. And then submit, bottom right. And then, so we've all submitted them then. I can then, if I wanted to, I can end the activity halfway through if I'm running out of time anyway.
This is
So
the
if I then,
feedback for the students.
so now I can end it here, which, end and review. So now,
This is
now as a whole class, we can see this is my analysing my data as a whole class input. But if I wanted to export those, I can now export them. I'm just going to put them on the desktop by choosing where I want. Save that. And then on my desktop, I open up that one. And a good old
Excel.
Excel file, which you'll love the data.
Oh,
There it is.
wow.
Yeah.
Yay.
And just print that off into your course file.
Stick it in the
So I can see the grade, your percentage, I can see your answers, no response, incorrect, all those ones there. And then for your long answers, I can see your long answers, you put yes, yes and yay, so thanks for that. But it includes all of that. The red ones are ones, so this is overall correct, but for each question, we can see that Brenda got all of them wrong. But we can see that Joe got these ones right, that one he didn't get wrong, and that one. But as obviously I'm just teaching you how to analyse data here, aren't I? Which I've got an Excel file. But you can see that it colour codes it whether you get it right or wrong. But this one here hasn't colour coded it because that was your open-ended question. There wasn't anything right or wrong. I just wanted to know your answer, hence the colour difference.
And that's great, the sort of open-ended question that isn't graded because you can come back to that again.
Exactly.
Also, you can ask them for their feedback.
Yeah.
And not their comments. Yeah.
Even if it's just how does this character feel in paragraph 4, and they've got to write a proper answer, and it's something for you to read properly, if you like. So that's response 2, which is in Smart Notebook, which is what we've just used it from now, just because I had one already set up in Smart Notebook. But it's also that you can add that assessment here, and then it becomes in that file, and then you can, the beauty of once you've finished it, go on to the next one and do something like that. So you could have, can you and you go to page 1 and do that assessment? Could you and you go to page 2 and do that assessment? And then once you finish, you need to go to page 5, you need to go to page 7. Or they're halfway through the assessment and you say, oh, you're doing amazingly, let's leave that one there, go on to the next page. This is also when you can have differentiated lab activities. So these lab games at the moment, for example, if it was just a rank order, just kind of thinking about when I was teaching my little ones, I had this table over here ordering 2 times table on page 1. This table here doing a 3 times table, this table over here doing a 10 times table. So I've got 3 different activities, but the children looking across at each one all just saw the pirate theme ordering numbers. So for that kind of, we're all doing the same work, but they're not doing the same work as that kind of self-esteem issues. And then again, that's the beauty of being student-based
Could you just do
online.
that? Could you just break us into 2 teams and give us 2 different concurrent tasks? Like you just said. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying, concurrent?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, it's getting some of you to go to page 3, and some of you to go to page 4.
Oh, it's just different pages, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that
Yes.
makes it-
But we go to those pages, we don't preset them.
I can't preset them. I have to say to you, go to that page.
Okay.
So, Joe and I are on slide 3. Interactive. Yeah, that's right, okay, because it's a different code. Is it? No.
It's the same
No,
code,
it's-
Same
no.
code.
You decide which pages you
So
go
I've
to.
finished editing here.
Right, yeah. Have you?
This one, so now your assessment's changed and you're online, which is the same code. And then all I do as a teacher, I here go to student paste, and I say, can you annotate on page 1?
Yeah,
And
have
can
you?
you annotate on page 2? Or do the assessment on page 1, even page 2.
It's fairly brilliant.
Yes, it hasn't got the magic pen, it hasn't got the shapes, it hasn't got those sorts of things like that. And no, for that teaching, that's where the beauty of the desktop and the powerhouse of Smart Notebook is there.
Yeah.
But the beauty of the cloud is that collaborative side of things.
Yes.
And that's done it. So in years to come, it'll be kind of all triangled dolled up and be all singing, all dancing, but developers need to sleep. So it's not there yet.
You're going to need a bigger team.
They're a great team. Having met quite a few of them, it's quite phenomenal what they do. So even, yes, I changed these in edit mode, but if for a chance I forgot to do one, I can click on them and then I can do it during the lesson as well. Those options are available if you've got people signed in to do just, individual handout, and it's done. You now all will be able to annotate individually on that first one, and I can see where you all are. And then this is my bank of resources. These are all my different lessons that I can teach from. At the moment, it's just stored today, yesterday, last week, older, and that is being integrated better.
Yeah, the dates maybe.
Because the way we've done it with Google, but not with Microsoft yet, and that's coming at the end of the year. The way it stores, because you signed into your account, which is a Microsoft account, technically all of this stuff is stored within the Microsoft side. You can't see it in Microsoft, but it's stored there. Hence it ticks all GDPR questions as well. It will come that all you'll do is to sign into your Teams or SharePoint and just open up your files rather than going through this interface. It will just all be in the OneDrive side. We've done it with Google just because we picked one, tossed a coin, and Google came up first. It wasn't quite like that, but essentially. And there's also the share link in there as well. So if I wanted to share this with a teacher, it's there, or share it with a student, it's there. But, there's loads of great videos about this online, because this is the kind of the new, let's get this all singing or dancing sent out. Notebook is pretty much brilliant. It'll be tweaked and added to, but this is the kind of, so there's loads of new stuff, videos online, to get that going like that. There's also a link here to the Join the Educators, which I said about the smart exemplary educators. So if this is something you're using, you find it great and you want to be part of that community, then that's where you can join those things there or submit a free chat. There's also introduction to kind of give a brief overview of what Smart Notebook is, and some other stuff at the top. You can all customize this banner at the top if you need to change your name or stuff like that. The help button there, it's got lots of stuff. But in a rather large nutshell, that's Smart Learning Suite Online. So,
Are there any limits or are there issues, for example, if you're uploading a text in terms of copyright and all the rest? Do you have any limits?
we leave all of that up to you. Because I'm on camera, I'm going to say, make sure you don't use anything copyrighted.
Okay. I hear you.
Essentially, it's your content.
Yeah.
If you're sharing it to the big wide world, then you need to make sure copyrighter issues are there. If you're just using it for your own personal use, then you should be fine. Technically, if you're putting stuff on the Smart Exchange, you do have to tick a disclaimer to say, I can distribute all this stuff. But I think there might be some stuff up there. It has been alerted to us beforehand. There is some stuff, and then all we do is just remove it. So it's there you go. But you can only upload those things, those formats to it. Or if you just wanted to start a new activity, you can just start that new activity from there as well. You can't create a new file online yet. That's also in the roadmap. You have to start with a blank one and upload it, and then edit it.
Sorry, just say that again. That you can't.
So here, to start a Smart Learning Suite online file,
Yeah.
you have to start with a notebook, a PowerPoint, or a PDF.
Okay.
You can't just start a new file.
Okay.
That's in the roadmap to be coming. So start by importing content that you've already used. So you've got some static PowerPoint, click, click, click content, and then it'll hopefully move it into that more dynamic, more interactive look we've seen this morning.
Okay. And with the activities, where it says start with the activity, the ones that you've already got are the only ones that we can use at the moment. So if you created a different kind of question or activity, that's just the bank of those are the bank of.
These are the bank of templates.
Then we can't add anything to that.
So if you wanted to fill in the blanks, again, so you start the activity, you type in.
Yeah, no, I understand how those work. What I'm saying is we're limited to only using those at the moment.
These templates?
Yeah.
Yes, because that's just what Smart have made.
Yeah.
I mean, there's again, if you think of another template you're missing, submit the feature.
Because I was thinking of, except IELTS, they have lots of different types of question types, and some of them they're not all there. So if we want to practice those, is a way that we could adapt or introduce a new template.
One of those will probably match most of them. I mean, which one may not be there?
Okay, off the top of my head, I haven't.
Yeah.
Let me come back to you on that because I was just thinking.
There's fill in the blanks, a flip cards, a game show, which is very similar to the response to, but it's done in a game show style, a bit like Wheel of Fortune style. There you go. So you spin the wheel, and then you have to answer the questions, and you get bonus points for each one of those. There's a label reveal, so you put in your JPEG, and then you click on hotspots, click on the hotspots, and it will reveal each one of those. There's a match them up. That matches to that.
Things like completing sentences or completing a diagram or stuff like that. So I'm just thinking, is it, you know?
Right. So I put that in Smart Learning Suite Online, and you put half the image in, or half of the text in, and now add the rest. And if you do it as a handout, then the students will have their all their own version, and then they can input text, they can input pictures, they can draw over the top, and that's how that one would be finished. So you could have, if you wanted one of these styles, that could be on page 1, that one there could be on page 2, and do it that way. So shout out, we've looked at rank order, is that one there. Response 2 we've looked at as well. The monster quiz was like response 2, you have to hatch the monsters out instead.
It's Joe's one.
And then a super sort is these go there, these go there. A speed them up, this is a fantastic one. So car racing, you have to click to make them go faster. When they get to a dotted line, a question pops up, and then you have to answer that question A, B, C or D. If you answer it quickly and get it correct, you get a big speed up. If you answer it incorrectly, you get your car spins out. And if you answer it slowly, you get a small speed up.
Are there different background options to these tools, Smart Lab tools? Yeah.
Yes.
So like, if something looks a little bit primary school for us, there are options, I'm sure.
Yes. So if I show you them in Notebook, just because I've got some made.
Yeah, okay.
So I was thinking like GCC.
Yeah, exactly. They're very plain ones, I remember correctly.
Generally speaking, the backgrounds are limited.
Yes, that's right, they are.
So if I just edit this one here, first of all I put in my content,
Yeah.
and then click next, and those are the backgrounds.
Yeah. So there's a plain one there, bottom left, isn't there?
The get out clause is your simple one.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are limited
Piles.
and brilliant for primary. So I'm fine.
Yeah. The simple one, I think.
What I will show you is this one here, is super sort. So if I'm sorting categories, what should we do?
Think categories of fruit, food, because it's nearly lunchtime.
Nearly
Fruit and veg,
Fruit and veg.
and meat,
Meat.
whatever.
And the ideal, yeah. the
Fruit and meat, so
5-a-day diet, whatever.
apple, another fruit,
Go on.
pear,
Banana, pineapple, kumquat.
Oh, yes.
I'm just going to do ones I can spell.
You-
Meat,
Yeah, that's why I threw it in.
beef,
What, kale and,
chicken,
Lamb, prawns.
that'll do. So next here I've got a custom tab. So on Smart Notebook 18, which is the current one, you've just got the backgrounds. All the other ones, you've just got the backgrounds. For Smart Notebook 19, which will be coming out later in the year, and for the online version already, and because it's online, it's easy to be pushed out without any install, we can now customize this.
Ooh.
So if we customize that, we can now edit the theme.
Oh, yeah.
So in the background, if I just get
we can go to Google,
food,
yes.
Google a picture of food, image,
When you say it's coming later on this year, we're talking like in time for the new academic year, September onwards, or is it?
hopefully.
Okay.
What's that? It's already there in the online version.
Is it?
It's already there in the online version.
Fantastic, okay.
I have got a beta version of Notebook 19, so that's going around internally, making sure that all bugs and there's nothing like that, and then it will be released. So I'm just going to save this picture of fruit and veg on in my downloads, then go back into this, so I can now import this picture in the background, and it was in downloads, that picture, open, make sure it's the right, I can edit it so it's the size, save. I can then got a few kind of preset options, so I can move those around, or if I just wanted the fruit down here, I wanted those where I wish, basically.
You know what you just did? You resized it literally on the screen without going to anything outside, and it was just,
It's great, isn't it?
isn't it amazing?
Good
I
finish.
like that. I like that a lot.
So I've now got that completely customizable game. It's the ease of use.
No, but it's just, it shows us how easy it is.
It is, that is.
Why nobody else has done this before?
I can preview it as a teacher, and there it is.
Because that is good.
And it goes in, that one goes in, that one's rejected, that one goes in.
You don't have to go anywhere
And so
else, you just
visual.
do it all there.
Yeah.
It's done.
That's what I want, that's what you need.
And then the beauty of having the smartboard as well, you've got the visual graphics, and it looks spot on. So, and then it's the same as the other games. I can then send this out. Everyone can play that on devices. If it's saved in student work, they can have their own file. It can be then saved later.
Yeah.
Revision notes,
Yeah.
they can have the objectives, your teaching bit, and then this part here will be the fun playing game that is sent home with them as well. So it's winning.
Okay. I think we're on board.
You've also got a few other little bits here that are kind of in the stars as well, so you can have a timer.
Oh,
So
yeah,
you've
that's
got-
fine, yeah.
That's what the timer is now.
End activity after 1 minute. So once they start playing it, they've only got 1 minute to play, and then it will turn off. You've got a randomizer.
Does it do
The buzzer.
a countdown? Is there an audio to do?
It's just up there.
Just up there. And again, it's there on the
Yeah.
screen rather than
Yeah.
to find it somewhere.
But then to hide it, it's gone. The extra one's the timer.
Oh.
So you've got like a buzzer as well. So you could have 2 children at the front. You ask them a question.
Adults.
Sorry, 2 adults at the front. Students. I just use that as a generic
Students would
term.
be good.
2 students at the front. You ask them a question. This one buzzes first. So then they get to move one.
Buzzers as well.
They get to buzz that one. They get to go first. If I'm doing really quickly, it was that one that got first. So it's just a element if you wish to use, and that's that one. The randomizer, you can import your adults' names, or people in the class. You can just as a quick, I can assign. I've got 32 children here, or let's do 12, shall we? 12 people here. I've given them all a number. Click go. Who's going to have the first go? It's number 3. Come up to the board. You have a go. After that, 4. You can have a go. It's a bit like lollipop sticks. Again, all of that's available in Smart Notebook as well, with through the same place, a star at the side. And then your hat was the lollipop sticks with names.
So where did that menu come from?
It was already there.
It was already on the right hand side.
We just didn't look at it,
Okay.
but the star was there, and the timer and the things have gone.
Okay.
Or if I wanted them, I click on them.
And then if you've got that set up and you want to save it, you just go to the file save or
This is just saved in my part of my notebook file.
yeah. So
What you can do is when
But-
you're editing them,
but
you
you
can
don't
add
need
in.
to save it if you're playing around with
No.
it. Oh, okay.
What you can do is this little button here
Okay.
is you can add in content. For example, student lists. So then you can save your class list on here. And if you've got multiple classes, you just save them as those names and with a title. And if you're in that class, you can then in that hat, you can then bring up that list from that one. And because I'm logged in,
Okay.
I've put them in Notebook and it'll be saved, and I can bring them up in the online version as well, because it's all my content. We've just made this game. Did you get that one or not?
Yeah, I think so.
It was a super sort, but we put our own background in with our own content,
Okay, yeah.
which is only available, the customised one is only available online at the moment. And that's just a preview of it that we just did from scratch, just by type, customise, and then those can be moved around as,
Changing image, okay.
yeah. And then there's a few default ones. Well, there's one default one, we'll customise it. And then we just Googled the picture,
Yeah.
resized it, put it in the right place, all for us.
Yeah.
Winning. And that one there, talking about feedback to Smart, in the summer, when I was over in their headquarters in Calgary, that was one thing we said to Smart, we need this. And they made it, and it's now in there. So that's come directly from teachers saying that we needed that from that submitting for request. So, thanks to that. There we go.
Sorry to interject, everybody. I'm just writing to all the tutors because I gather Eleanor said she'd come down, and I'm just going to confirm that, Mark, you're working until, what are we saying, 1:15? Or what? No more than that, I would say, because it needs a break.
I need to go to one.
Or 1.
Needs to go out.
Or is what?
That's pretty much it for Smart Learning Online.
Shall we leave it?
There's loads of questions and answers I can carry on going.
Yeah, exactly, forever.
I think
Literally.
really help. I mean, fantastic. I'm just saying, if we do some of it ourselves,
Yeah.
it's the only way it's going to stay now.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic.
It's now about trialing it and learning from our sort of mistakes, really, isn't it? Just being brave, go for it.
But exposure, isn't it?
Completely.
No, but the difference in I can actually see,
Yeah.
assuming I've got to log in and all that, I can use this on Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
If I give you that,
I'd like to use it
then
on
it's
Saturday.
got my email and my phone number, just as an easy point of contact. I need one of those, Brenda. You just brought that.
Yeah.
So if there is anything, even if it's a, can you make this for me and tell me how it works, or make me a little video because I need to show some of my people next week, within reason.
Okay.
Go
I
for
know
it.
we're going for lunch, but what are the problems with this? Are there any drawbacks? Are there any limitations that you can think of in terms of for us teachers to kind of be aware of, or is there anything that you can tell us that?
The online one,
Uh-huh.
essentially, it's online, so you make sure your internet's working and all that sort of side of things.
Yeah.
It's just knowing what it can do and just doing those.
Yeah.
There are certain things that it can't do, for example, all those pens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there are limitations in that sense. I mean, if it's just bringing in a protractor, you just bring in an image of a protractor. So there are ways of working around it. Just playing to its strengths. Of the online one is a collaborative tool that you work with people. It's a collaborative thing basically because it's cloud based, and it's that take the work home, save it, ease of use. If you're wanting to nitty gritty teaching with a powerhouse machine, it's kind of Notebook does most of it that way.
And you just rebooted it earlier on, or refreshed it, whatever, if there were any problems, and that's would
Because
that
it's
work
web-based.
Yeah, would that work?
Yeah.
99%?
Yeah, I have not seen that thing before, genuinely.
Which have you not seen?
When I tried to write on one, the pen wasn't working, so I just refreshed the browser
Ah, yes, yeah. Okay.
and it worked.
Oh, well, it's like switching something on and off,
Yeah.
refreshing,
Yeah.
it's another magic button. There's Greg, and he'll talk to us about the address.
Hi there.
Hi, Greg. So have you
So-
met Mark? You have, yes.
Not
Yeah,
yet.
this is Mark,
Hi.
and this
I'm
is
Mark.
Greg,
I'm
our
Greg.
e-learner.
Nice to meet